the precondition that Cuba's independence and sovereign integrity will not be encroached upon, and its internal affairs will not be interfered in, our government has the full will to normalize relations with the United States. While initial improvements in relations have been made, both sides admit there is a long road ahead before relations are fully normalized. The most significant issues are said to include the matters of the economy, immigration, and human rights. Kerry says the two sides can now begin the next phase for the development of bilateral ties.
Over the next days, we will be able to lay out a roadmap whereby steps are taken and make it possible for us to move to the next level.
Rodriguez says Cuba expects compensation for damages caused by the long U.S. economic embargo, as it considers U.S. claims for property expropriated by the Cuban government. Cuba wants the U.S. to end the trade embargo, while Kerry says the U.S. is unlikely to do so unless the U.S. Congress sees improvement in Cuba's human rights record. However, Josefina Barbero, Cuba's lead negotiator with the U.S., says the lift of the embargo, if and when it happens, will only be the first step of the long process of restoring economic relations.
But the lifting of the embargo will not be the magic wand. After the embargo is lifted, we'll see whether we will receive the status of most favored nation if we're to receive tariff privileges. Anyway, the normalization of economic relations is a process that will take time, even beyond the lifting of the embargo.
The U.S. initiated a trade embargo against Cuba in the 1960s, following the deterioration of the relationship between the two countries. Last month, the Cuban embassy officially opened in Washington. For CRI, I'm Victor Nick.
China's ministers from the Eurozone have approved another massive bailout package for Greece. The decision was made during a meeting of EU ministers in Brussels on Friday, just hours after Greek lawmakers had approved that same package. The aid package is worth around 85 billion euros, that's roughly $94 billion over 3 years. And it's the third bailout package for Greece in 5 years. Euclid Sakalatos, the Greek finance minister, welcomed the development, adding the package comes with some opportunities.
This deal, we have never forgotten the fact, has many opportunities. It has an opportunity for Greek people to reform their public sector, to address the issues of corruption, to address the issues of tax evasion, and a number of very important structural reforms.
Germany, along with a number of other countries, is scheduled to review the package next week, assuming approval from both countries. The European Stability Mechanism is expected to approve the first batch of funding worth 26 million euros on August the 19th. Well, Saturday marks a decade since Israel's disengagement from the Gaza Strip, and today people in Gaza are still living under the Israeli siege. The peace which the Israelis expected 10 years ago has not been achieved just yet. Here I want to share with more.
I would like to repeat what I have said in the past. In the framework of a future agreement, Israel will not remain in all the places where it is today. The Israel Defense Forces and the settlements will be deployed along the security line. A portion of the settlements will be relocated. The disengagement plan will be implemented, period.
The disengagement plan, initiated by then-Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon, refers to the withdrawal of the Israeli army from the Gaza Strip and the dismantling of over 21 Israeli settlements in Gaza, as well as 4 small settlements in the northern West Bank. The disengagement began on August 15, 2005, and ended within 1 month. Nearly 10,000 people were evacuated. In the days afterwards were difficult for these former settlers. Most of them lived in prefabricated homes called paravillas for years, and around 2,000 people are still without permanent homes. Palestinians in Gaza are happy to live without Jewish settlers.
No, this is freedom. Separate Gaza Strip for 3 regions. Transportation, it was so difficult. It was terrible. The communication between the cities, it was so difficult. Many restrictions.
However, since Hamas took control of the Gaza Strip in 2007, Israel and Egypt largely sealed their borders with Gaza. Professor Mukhaimer Abu Sada with Al Azhar University in Gaza The blockade has severely affected life in Gaza.
When Israel decided to disengage from the Gaza Strip in 2005, the Palestinians looked at it as an end of the Israeli occupation to Gaza. But unfortunately, daily life conditions have deteriorated after Israel disengaged from Gaza because Israel imposed a tight siege against Gaza. As a result, levels of poverty and unemployment in the Gaza Strip have gotten up very high.
Since 2005, three major conflicts have broken out between Israel and Gaza, which have resulted in thousands of Palestinian casualties. In addition, Israel is consistently under threat from rocket attacks out of Gaza territory. And getting to achieve peace have made more and more Israelis think of the disengagement plan as a mistake.
We face such a high percentage of people around the home, and many people will feel homeless, unfortunately. We need everything protected, but we got others. We got war, we got the mama, we got Israel still hanging on wood.
10 years after the disengagement and 1 year after the last military conflict, the relationship between Israel and Gaza hasn't improved much. Professor Abu Sada says the current situation is still unstable. The CNI and Huangshan.
Chinese and Iranian musicians have co-staged a two-day concert in Tehran, happened right after the China Philharmonic Orchestra landed in the Iranian capital for the 2015 Silk Road Concert Tour. Monsieur Asgoyan has details.
China's Philharmonic Orchestra held a concert in Badarpur, Tehran, as part of the fourth leg of its 2015 Silk Road Concert Tour, following performances in Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Kazakhstan. The concert is part of the six-country Silk Road Tour and attracted more than 600 people, including China Ambassador to UN, Peng San, and diplomatic missions in Iran. The concert was opened with Alexander Popovich Borodin's Polaskian dances from present day and followed by a violin concerto, the Butterfly Lover, otherwise known as Yang. Music and applause echoed in the hall.
It's wonderful. We can see the themes, motivations, and the phrases integrating with the Western music. It's a fantastic performance. I love it.
During the second half of the concert, Iranian conductor Ali Rahbari took to the podium and co-presented other beautiful melodies. Rahbari said he enjoyed working with the Chinese team and that cultural exchanges with China are beneficial.
China Philharmonic Orchestra is a very professional team, so I really enjoy working with all of its members. The purpose of the concert is to boost cultural exchanges between our two countries. China wants to establish a cultural relationship with us, not only in the economic field. This is a pretty good idea.
At the same time, President of the China Philharmonic Orchestra, Li Nam, praised the accomplishments of Iranian musicians, especially Ali Rahbari. Li Nam also expressed his wishes for future cooperation and said the tour would open the gate to conduct cultural communications. China Ambassador to Tehran, Peng San, underlined the importance of the visit and noted the concert is a major part of cultural interaction of the two countries.
中国跟伊朗的合作不单是经济合作，而且包括我们的政治的交往，还有人文的交往。
Cooperation between China and Iran not only includes the economy, but also participate in culture. Cultural exchange is a good opportunity to promote mutual understanding of two nations. Music has no borders. It is a language that anyone can understand.
Paul says the concert tour is a new start for China and Iran and expected more exchanges in various ways in the near future. After performances in Tehran, the China Philharmonic Orchestra is also scheduled to give concerts in Turkey and Greece, its last two stops of the 18-day tour along the ancient Silk Road. I'm Goyen.
28 minutes past the hour. Quick check of the forecast before the break. Beijing clear tonight, a low of 22. Tomorrow it's sunny and 35. Shanghai will have a shower tonight, a low of 25. The showers continue on Sunday at 5:30. Shenzhen will be cloudy overnight and 26. Some clouds tomorrow and 34. Lhasa will have a slight rain tonight and 13. Then it's rain and a high of 23. Elsewhere in Asia, Islamabad will have a slight rain tomorrow and 35 degrees Celsius. Kabul is to be rainy and 30. In the southern hemisphere, Sydney, some clouds and 19, slight rain and 19 for Brisbane, clouds and 22 at Perth. And finally, Auckland, New Zealand will have a slight rain and a high of 15 degrees Celsius. Time for a short break on the Beijing Hour. Still to come, we'll check in on some of the business stories that made headlines over the past week. In sports, action underway now in the Chinese Super League. Entertainment, a new album from a Chinese singer who passed away early in the year. I'm Shane Bigham with you. Stay with us here on the Beijing Hour. Perspective on important developments in China, plus a unique eye on the ever-changing, fast-moving global community. This is the Beijing Hour, your very own window on China and the world.
Examining the events that impact and shape China and the rest of the world. This is the Beijing Hour, 1 hour of news and information brought to you by China Radio International.
Shane Bigham with you on this Saturday evening. Still to come, we'll recap some of the business stories that have made headlines this past week. Sports, semi-final matchups have been set at the Rogers Cup tennis tournament. Entertainment, the Voice UK is getting a makeover. First of all, let's check out the headline news. That's 32 past the hour. Emergency measures have been adopted in Tianjin to prevent secondary disasters. 3 days after the deadly explosions that hit the port city, so far 85 people have been confirmed dead. 722 have been injured. Chemical specialists investigating the blast believe sodium cyanide, a highly toxic inorganic compound, might have been stored at the site. But the exact amount of the dangerous chemical is not yet clear. At the same time, the rescue operation continues in the area. A man of 50 was found alive today and sent to hospital for treatment. Minor explosions and fire were also reported at the warehouse site, but by this afternoon, authorities say the fires are basically out. They've also enlarged the evacuation area around the blast site. The radius has been expanded to 3 kilometers. China's voiced strong opposition and dissatisfaction at today's visit to Yasukuni Shrine by some Japanese cabinet members. This comes after Koichi Hagiuda, an aide for Japan's Prime Minister, sent spiritual offerings on behalf of Shinzo Abe to the controversial shrine, which honors 14 Class A convicted criminals of World War II. The Chinese Foreign Ministry released a statement today saying the visit, coming on the day marking Japan's unconditional surrender at the end of World War II, reflects Japan's wrong attitude on historical facts and its attempt to whitewash Japan's wrongdoings during the war. China has also urged Japan to make an effort to stay away